Class 9, we have already started with chapter 5. So in the previous video lesson, we have done till effect of upthrust, right? So we have done what is upthrust, what is bind force, then what is buoyancy, what are the unit of upthrust, then factors on which. I've also done the mathematical derivation, right? Mathematical derivation of the expression for upthrust, the formula for upthrust. And from there, we concluded to what are the factors on which upthrust can depend, and the characteristics of upthrust also we have done, and the effect of upthrust. So, now, forget about the heading I have written. So then, when a body is immersed in a liquid, first point, volume of the submerged part of the body is equal to volume of the displaced liquid, right? That means, if I am immersing, say, a certain, say, this much volume of the mercury, so it will displace, the volume of the displaced liquid is equal to the volume of the part of the mercury which I am immersing, right? So volume of the submerged part of the body equal to volume of displaced liquid. Due to this, what have we got? Weight of the displaced liquid equal to upthrust. Remember the equation? This was actually the volume of the cylinder which was immersed, right? But since it will displace the same volume of liquid, so this is actually equal to the volume of the liquid displaced, and from there we got upthrust is equal to weight of the displaced liquid, right? Due to this upthrust, what have we found? Effect of upthrust. That suppose you have a, say you take a body, you take a cylindrical or whatever, a solid object, right? You weigh the object in here. You find that it's, say, 20 Newton. When you dip inside the liquid, you will notice that the weight is now, if you take the reading, if you measure, then you will notice that it's, say, coming out to be, say, 180 Newton. That means, in here, the weight of the solid is the real weight, right? In here, when we are measuring the weight of the solid, that is the real weight of the solid. Inside the liquid, when we have dipped it inside the liquid, we found that we experimentally observed that its weight is showing, say, 180 Newton. So what do we call that? Its weight has not, all of a sudden it has not decreased. That weight is the apparent weight, because this 200 minus 180 Newton, this difference of 20 Newton is what? The apparent loss in weight of a body by immersing it in a liquid. This apparent loss in weight is due to apparent, that means which is not real. Apparent loss in weight is due to nothing but the upthrust, and this apparent loss in weight is equal to the upthrust. So the whole principle was given by, it was invented by none other than Archimedes. He invented this one day. That it's a very interesting story. Sometime in the class I'll tell you. So he found that the 3 points which I've mentioned. Okay. So that means if I have 200 Newton in here, it's the real weight of the solid. Say inside the liquid, its weight is 180 Newton. This is the real weight. This is the apparent weight. Difference is the apparent loss in weight. So that apparent loss in weight is nothing but the upthrust. Okay? Fine. So I'll just recap few points. What have we seen? That suppose if this is a body, how does the weight of any body acts? Vertically downwards, right? What is a point known as in which it is assumed that the whole of the weight of the body is seen to act. W is the weight of the body acting downwards. So what is that point called? Center of gravity. Right? It's the center of gravity. We denote it as G, right? Center of gravity, we denote it as G. I think previously I have shown it as C. So, because since we are using two, G and B, so center of gravity is denoted as G. In class 10, we have this chapter, the very first chapter which we have. So there we will learn a bit more about this center of gravity, okay? So center of gravity denoted as G, capital G. Weight is acting downwards vertically. And how does the upthrust acts? How does the upthrust acts? Upwards. So will it just act from any point? No. It is mathematically calculated that this upthrust will also act the point at which the whole of the buoyant force is seen to act, from which, so that point is it's the direction of the upthrust. This is how we show the upthrust direction, right? So we show the direction of upthrust like this. And what is this point called? Center of buoyancy. Okay, and upthrust always act vertically upwards, right? So in the diagram it is denoted like this. So the upthrust due to the liquid, we denote it like this, as if it seemed to act along the same straight line in which the weight is acting, right? It's acting along the same straight line in which the weight is acting. But what is a point which I have mentioned? If a solid is completely immersed in a liquid, what is this condition called? The solid is floating but completely immersed condition, isn't it? Here also and here also, when the body sinks down, it's also completely immersed. It is also completely immersed, right? So in this case, weight notice one thing, upthrust and weight, we take this acting to be along the same straight line. And for these two cases, the weight is acting downward, upthrust acting upwards, right? In these two cases, the weight is acting, what is that called? Center of gravity. Upthrust is acting, what is the point called? Where it seemed to be, actually it's, the whole of the buoyant force seems to act at. That point is the center of buoyancy. So in these two cases, center of buoyancy and center of gravity coincides. But if we have a partially immersed body, that means this one, partially immersed, at that time weight acts downwards from center of gravity and the upthrust acts upward, obviously as usual, but the center of buoyancy lies below the center of gravity. Now suppose you take a body, okay, and you completely immerse the body inside the liquid, okay. Say this is the place where the liquid is, and you just take the body and you just immerse the body completely. Right? Now, you have just immersed the body completely inside the liquid. Tell me one thing. What weight of a body acts downwards and the upthrust acts upwards. So if I hold this marker and say I'm pushing the marker from above, okay, and I'm also pushing like this. If the force which is acting downwards is more, where will the marker move? Downwards. If the force, that means weight acts downwards, right? That means the weight of a body will try to move it downwards. But the upthrust acting on the body will try to push it upwards. If we find that the weight of the body, is greater than the upthrust, if the weight of the body is greater than the upthrust, then I just forgot to mention one thing that about the maximum upthrust. I've just missed it out. Suppose you remember the previous video lesson, in the very beginning I have mentioned that when you are trying to push the the mug which you use for taking bath inside the bucket filled with water, you will notice that as you do so, you are experiencing an upthrust. Fine, that is now clear. More you move downwards, right? That means more deep you go inside the liquid, you will find more upthrust you will face, right? So that means, when can the upthrust be maximum? When a solid is just floating like this, or it's completely immersed? When it is completely immersed, obviously, because as we move the solid inside the liquid, upthrust will increase. So we find that, say, after you have immersed a solid inside the liquid, you have completely immersed the solid inside the liquid, no part of it is outside the liquid, then the upthrust, that means the point at which it will experience the maximum upthrust, we denote it as FB dash, as the maximum upthrust. Now if in that case, now if you find that weight of the solid is greater than this one, then what will happen? Where will the solid move? Upwards or downwards? Wherever the force is more, the solid will move in that direction. If the downward force is more than the upward force, it will move in the downward direction. Therefore, the body will sink. The body sinks. You have these diagrams, okay? Please try to understand the things. This is the case, the body will sink. Can I write this case as also density of the body? If rho is the density of the body, solid. Say rho is the density of solid and rho L is the density of liquid. Rho is the density of solid and rho L is the density of liquid. Can I say then, if rho greater than rho L, same case will happen? Obviously, density is more, that means rho is more. So, M, mass is equal to volume into density. So, mass, that means obviously weight will ultimately become more. That is why the denser object sinks in the liquid in which the density of the object is which you are immersing inside the liquid, that is greater than the density of the liquid in which you are immersing. That's why they will sink. So either this or same thing. This follows for this. This is how you are deriving this. I'll just show you once. For weight, suppose you have immersed the solid completely inside the liquid. So weight of the solid is how much? Weight, I can write it as m into g. So m stands for mass. So mass is volume into density. Volume of the solid into density of the solid into g. Right? What is this thing? Weight of the liquid displaced into, this is nothing but the weight of the liquid displaced, not into, sorry, weight of the liquid displaced. So weight of the liquid displaced is how much? Upthrust you have just found, it's weight of the liquid displaced. So upthrust, how much? When it is maximum upthrust, that means it is FB dash means maximum upthrust. That means when a solid is completely immersed in the liquid. That means when a solid is completely immersed in a liquid, the solid will displace how much volume of the liquid? Its own volume. If the entire marker is dipped inside water, how much volume of water will it displace? The entire volume of the marker, obviously. So, we just don't get confused, okay? Upthrust, the formula of upthrust is the volume of the solid displaced into rho into g. In this case, V, volume of the liquid displaced, is totally the volume of the solid, because you have dipped the entire solid into rho L into G, density of the liquid, right? So, then tell me, if rho is greater than rho L, if rho is greater than rho L, can't I say W is greater than, because this and this are same in both the cases, isn't it? So if rho greater than rho L, that means the density of the solid which I am immersing inside the liquid, if the density of the solid is greater than the density of liquid, that means the weight of the solid is greater than the upthrust, maximum upthrust, then it will sink down. So while it is sinking down, what is the net force acting in which direction? In the downward direction, because in the downward direction the force is more than the force in the upward direction, so the solid is moving in the downward direction. Okay, next